Welcome back, everybody, to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host, Michael Darcy, and today I have the pleasure to be joined by my boys, Caden Spruill and Kyle Collier, both fellow producers at Sports Radio 810 WHB. And in this video, we're going to discuss if the Chiefs should be open to trading for a running back before the NFL trade deadline. So, fellas, one of the things that happened in that Monday Night Football win against the Commanders, Isaiah Pacheco suffered an MCL sprain, which has him week to week. And this isn't something that should affect him long term. I think that he'll be good to go in a couple weeks, maybe 3-4. But I do think that the Chiefs should at least consider going out and trading for another running back. And I want to get your thoughts on this, and we'll start with Kyle.
Yeah, I think it's a worthy idea to explore for sure. It's funny with the Chiefs running game. A lot of fans, media, us included, we kind of lamented or complained about the fact that the Chiefs just couldn't really get anything going. What we've seen now is that they all have roles. Isaiah Pacheco may never get another goal line carry as long as Kareem Hunt's in the building. 4th and 1, that's Kareem Hunt's duties. Brashard Smith, he's going to catch some screens. He'll get the occasional carry, and then Pacheco is just your first down, your second down back, or third down back if it's not 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 1 because that's Kareem's job. With Pacheco going down, I definitely think it's worth it. But this is the thing about the Chiefs running game: you're not going to win because of it. You can win with it, because if the Chiefs ever have to rely on it, you're screwed. It's over, right? So it's not like you need to go out and swing for a Breece Hall. I would love that. I mean, especially my fantasy team would love that too. But I just think the cost will be a little bit too much when you really don't need to spend big on it, because the Chiefs, like 6 straight games, 28 plus points. Their offense is explosive, one of the most explosive in the NFL right now. I would have to check points scored. I know last week they were about 5th in points scored. That probably went up. But right now, I don't see the need really to trade for anything other than, I don't know, depth. Because with Pacheco down, you got Elijah Mitchell, who's been a healthy scratch, I feel like, all year, except for maybe once or twice. We'll see what Brett Veach is thinking about it with the move that he does make. I don't expect a splash, though.
Yeah, I think if the Chiefs were to trade for a running back, I think it'd just be kind of like having your cake and eating it too. I think just it'd just be, a little icing on top. But I don't think that it's necessary at this point. I think that they have the pieces in the running back room right now that can get the job done. You took the words right out of my mouth, Kyle. I think that when there's more of a even split on the run game and the pass game, it makes it a little more difficult for them to get a rhythm and really get going. But I think whenever they're not, like you said, not as reliant on the run game, and you can really put more on the shoulders of Pat and the wide receivers and Travis and all those guys, they fit right in. They do just a fine job. Both guys were over 4 yards per carry last night, which is not bad by any means. I think Kareem had 9 for 40. So that's very efficient. So I don't think that it's necessary at this point. I think Brett Veach would tell you they're always going to explore options to make any team better, just like any GM is always going to say they're going to take their dabbles. But I think if you were to trade for any guy right now, you're looking at a contract extension next year that the Chiefs frankly just don't have the money for right now. You look at a guy like Breece Hall or even Alvin Kamara. Those aren't guys you really want to give a contract. I mean, maybe they see something in Breece Hall that they would want to, but not Alvin Kamara. And then if you were to trade for a guy that may not have a big cap number, at that point I think you'd be better off just sticking with the guys that we got in the running back room. So I don't think it's necessary at this point.
If you would have asked me in the first month of the season if I thought the Chiefs needed to make running back a priority at the trade deadline, I would have said absolutely. I didn't think that the Chiefs running backs were particularly very good. They couldn't run the football. They've gotten better as the season has gone on. I think part of that is because the offensive line, and specifically Kingsley Suamataia, has been so much better in terms of the running game and run blocking. I still think that you could get more explosive and dynamic in the running back room. The issue is I'm not sure if that time is right now. That time might be in free agency next year, the draft in 2026. I'm just not sure how many game-changing, explosive backs are going to be available at the deadline and available at a decent price, because I'm not sure if Breece Hall, after the performance that he had, last week, is going to go for a, late, not a late day 3 pick, but a day 3 pick. He might go for, a third or a fourth. And I guess that is a day 3 pick, but I
Yeah.
think that, he's going to be more expensive. Alvin Kamara is going to be more expensive. All the other options, even like a Tony Pollard, I just think might be too expensive for the Chiefs. And so I do think that running back should be a priority, but I'm not sure if it should be a priority right now at the trade deadline. And so, right now, they got to find a defensive lineman and a defensive end, and I think that should be priority one. Would I hate it if they traded for a running back? Absolutely not, but I'm just not sure if that time is now.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And we'll see. It's not confirmed if Pacheco is going to miss time. If it's only one game, then maybe they're going to be waiting on Pacheco's diagnosis, I think, before Brett Veach really goes out and starts making calls. Now, obviously, a guy like him, he's going to make calls, get prices, talk to agents, stuff like that. But I think this Pacheco thing is just more of a we'll just wait and see. I don't think it's going to be an IR stint or anything like that. But I'll go back to what Andy Reid has said about the running back room, and Matt Nagy, and what I said earlier in this video. They all kind of have their role. And I know everybody wants more Brashard Smith, but he's doing well in the role he's got now. I just think the Chiefs don't really need to trade for a do-it-all back, because they've got 3 guys who can be fresh, and I think they can survive 1 or 2 games without Pacheco, just by handing it off to Brashard and Kareem.
Yeah, and not only do I not think, or I think that there's more desperate needs for, like we said, defensive line, but kind of like you said, Kyle, I think that they've really carved out the role. They've really got a rhythm, and have accepted their roles as well. I think for a guy like Pacheco, maybe it might have been a little bit different, because he did share time with Kareem towards the end of last season. But I know coming into the season, he probably expected to get a bulk of the carries, which he has. But Kareem has got those, like as you said, the goal line carries and the third downs, and then him and Brashad have done a really good job of splitting those third downs. Brashard gets the passing downs right now, so I think that they've really just done a good job of developing that chemistry and understanding, when they're going to be called on.
I mean, they all have different roles, like you guys said, and I think what is frustrating but also, I guess, relieving about this running game is that Pacheco and Hunt are backs that are going to do just enough. If you need them to get 3 yards, they're going to get 4. Like, they're not going to break off 15-yard runs, but, Kareem Hunt in short yardage situations, he's converting on 3rd and 4th down more successfully than the tush push is being completed.
Yeah.
And that only goes to show you how dominant and automatic he is in short yardage situations. And I think the biggest downside of this Pacheco injury is he was actually running the football really well. It seemed like he was getting out of that funk. He was finally starting to feel healthy, and he was breaking off bigger runs. And part of that might just be that the Chiefs' offense is so explosive throwing the football that defenses are like, oh, shoot, we got to actually, drop guys back into coverage, and that makes everybody better. But, the Chiefs' running game, I think, went from being a real issue in the first month to being something that, like you guys said, you can win with it, but you're not going to win because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up, Darcy, because I feel like the first 3, 4, 5 weeks, Pacheco, it was just a slog to watch tape of him. He just kind of ran into the mass of players on the line. Or backwards. Yeah, he definitely looked rusty, to say the least. And that's the unfortunate thing about this possible sprain. I can't remember what it is really.
Yeah, an MCL sprain.
MCL sprain. Yeah, that's what stinks about this is he was getting going. Caden, you brought up the yards per carry. I feel like that's been over 4 for like 5 straight weeks now. Andy Reid's never going to give his backs 30 totes with the ball. So, like I said earlier, I think you can survive with an uptick in usage for Kareem and Brashard, however long Pacheco's out. And don't get me wrong, I would love to see Breece Hall. I think probably week 2 or 3, Darcy, we did one of those running back videos. And I was like, Alvin Kamara would be my number one guy. Now he says if he gets traded, he's going to straight up retire. So, yeah, I think the Chiefs will survive the next 2 weeks. It sucks for Pacheco because he was getting going as kind of the lead back, but the Chiefs will survive with a little bit more Brashard, which I think the fans would love to see.
Yeah, and I think another thing to consider with these running backs is just the supporting cast around them and how that's developed over the last, few weeks and how that's correlated to their success. I'd be willing to bet if you looked at the stack box percentage over the first 2 or 3 weeks before
Oh
Xavier
yeah.
Worthy and Rasheed Rice came back, I'd be willing to guarantee, I'd be willing to bet a good amount of money that it was a higher percentage before those guys came back. So just having those guys back has, helped the uh, running back group as well. And then the offensive line has played a little bit better, I think, too. I think there's a picture of that 4th and 1 last night that Kareem just had a gaping hole. I mean, it was
Yeah.
huge. There was no worries on the 4th down and 1. So, and we know that the short yardage problems have been something that has occurred a lot over the past few years. So, yeah, just those guys around him has also made a big impact on that running back group.
Absolutely. And I think that, going forward, it would be nice for the Chiefs to make a move for a running back because, I don't think Pacheco's going to be out long term, but he's also, been banged up over the past couple seasons. And so you can't take his health at 100%. Like, he could get hurt again. But, you're another injury or two away from being, Elijah Mitchell and CEH. And that's a kind of a scary world to live in. But, I think the Chiefs feel comfortable with the guys they have and the guys that are in their roles that can do that job very well. I think we'll see more Brashard Smith when, Pacheco is out. But either way, I don't think the Chiefs are going to force a move at the deadline just because they need a running back or, they feel like they need one. But I think that is all the time we have in this video. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
So the trade deadline is November 3rd or 4th at like 3 p.m. Central Time. I, I'd put money down right now that the Chiefs don't make a move for a running back. I think they'll be focused on pass rush.
Okay. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say the Chiefs don't make a move before the deadline. I know that the everybody in Chiefs Kingdom would love to see a move. We love to see, breaking news. Everybody loves to get their adrenaline up. But I think the most likely move you could see is probably them signing Mike Pennell, and then that's about it. So,
Wow. I mean,
so
I mean,
and
we
honest,
forget how complete this roster is. I mean, you're the only issues we ever have with these videos now is like we feel like I feel like at least that we're nitpicking a little bit. The last 2 weeks they've given up 7 points total in
right.
8 quarters of football. Like, yeah, they're not sacking at an elite rate, but the defense is still nails. The running game is working, and now that if Pacheco misses a game, now everybody who was bitching about not seeing Elijah Mitchell and Brashard Smith are going to get a little bit more happy. So
yeah.
yeah, Caden, I think you're right. I wouldn't expect any fireworks.
And
Yeah,
those moves that they did make are going to be small ones that, are on the transaction report, but they're not like a massive move that anybody outside of Kansas City is really going to get that excited about, which
Yeah,
could piss some Chiefs fans off, but they've been to 5 out of the last 6 Super Bowls. I think they'll be okay. But
yeah.
I think that is all the time we have in this video. My final question for you is where can the people find your content? And we'll start with Kyle.
Listen to me on Sports Radio 810. I produce the program with Seren Petro weekdays 2 to 6. Find me right here on KC Sports Report, and then find me on the night shift when the World Series ends. Sports Radio 810, 9 p.m. Wednesday nights. Go Blue Jays.
you can find me on Sports Radio 810 as well. I produce The Take with Andy Sweeney on Wednesday nights from 7 to 9. And then I'll be on with Kyle and Michael on the night shift at once the MLB playoffs. I think that'll be next week, I'd say this series will probably
Yeah.
wrap
I'm
up
praying.
sometime.
I'm praying.
So, yeah, you can probably catch us next week. And then right here on the KC Sports Report as well.
And guys, follow their Twitters. They will be linked in the description below. Hit that like button. Subscribe for more daily Chiefs content. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video. And as always, go Chiefs.